Hi there, it's Jen from modernmedicinelady.com and the Empathic Woman System. And the word of the day is yield, as in yielding to traffic. And I choose this word because I received an inquiry from another follower who was asking the basic question, how do I control the static around me? And so I've been thinking about that since I got the message. And I was thinking, for me, the truth is, I don't control the static around me. I can't control the static around me. What I can control is myself. And now, certainly, if it's a physical environment thing and it's about being overstimulated by the stuff that's going on in the world or like in my immediate environment, there are things I can control. I can, for example, I can turn down the volume on radios and televisions and, the sound, the noise that's in my world, unless, of course, it's children, and then good luck. But I can control like how much information is coming at me. I can not go online 24/7. I can also not be using fragrances that are going to be really stimulating, as well as really paying attention to what I'm putting into my body and being careful about not exposing myself to anything that is going to be mind or mood altering while I'm already dealing with a lot of information. Because the paradox of it is that a lot of times we might turn to things like alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, sugar to sort of calm ourselves down in the short term. And in the short term, it definitely works to calm us down. But the problem is, for us highly sensitive empathic people, what it does is it weakens our filters and it opens us up and it amplifies our abilities more. And when we are already picking up too much information and we're already really sensitive, the last thing that we need is something that's going to increase our sensitivity. So it's very important when we're noticing that we're around a lot of static, we don't want to add any more static to the mix. And so really working to quiet things down both externally with what we can and internally is really important. And also what I have found is that, as I was saying, I can't control necessarily other people's emotions, and I can't control all of the energy and the thoughts and the feelings and the stuff that is going on in the world around me. But I can acknowledge that it's there, and in the same way that a tree can't control wind, but a tree can send its roots down so that it's really sturdy and grounded, and it can then let the wind blow around it, blow through it, and also it can bend with it, it can move with it, it can adapt. We can do that too. So when we recognize that we're in a place where there's a lot of static, we can then decide to adapt to it, to get out of the way, to like literally yield and just move over and not try to push against it, not try to fight it, but just kind of let ourselves sort of be that still presence in the middle of the chaos. Like find yourself as the eye in the middle of the storm. As well as looking at, do I really need to be here? Can I walk away from this? Can I take myself out of this situation? And sometimes that means, like, if it gets to be too intense, going for a 5-minute walk and then coming back in, doing things to calm ourselves down. And as you might imagine, I'm going to say tapping is an awesome thing for calming down. And even just taking a few minutes to just push on the pressure points and breathe in peace and calmness and breathe out any tension and worry. But a lot of it is about really just finding the calm inside of ourselves and yielding to the static that is going on around us and not pushing up against it, not trying to control it, not trying to make it different, but just really looking at whether it's something that we even want to be around or dealing with, or if we can step aside, if we can move out of the way. And then from that, make decisions. Now, obviously, there are some situations where, say, you've got kids and they're really loud and they're always intense and they're just constantly sending static all around you. Then the key, in my opinion, is all about self-care. It's all about finding ways to stay calm in the middle of chaos, and really stealing that time for ourselves to be able to keep ourselves calm, keep ourselves grounded, because that is just so incredibly important. And I'll just say, in terms of yielding, thinking about yielding, and we don't live in a country or in a world where people are inclined to yield. People kind of have this idea of the first one to the top of the mountain wins. But sometimes you really got to look at how much force is coming at you, and is it worth the effort, and is it worth risking a collision so that you can be the first one to get there? Or in the same way that if you are merging into traffic, sometimes the best thing you can do is yield as the car is speeding towards you instead of cutting them off. Sometimes when it comes to, or most of the time, I think when it comes to energetic static, the best thing we can do is just look at it, go, there it is, yield to it, and then let it go by, and then do what we need to do. So my question to you right now is there any place in your life where you're experiencing a lot of static? And are you finding yourself trying to control it? Are you finding yourself trying to push up against it? Are you finding yourself wanting it to be different? And like really sort of in that kind of struggle where you are right up against it as opposed to yielding to it? And what would it feel like to just kind of acknowledge it for what it is and let it move around you and sort of step aside? So I'd love to hear what you have to say about all of this. Please leave a comment below. And until next word of the day, I am wishing you peace and ease and awareness of that calm, still center within, even in the midst of static, even in the midst of chaos. So in the meantime, please, if you haven't already done it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jennifer Moore, Modern Medicine Lady. And also, I'd be so grateful for you to help me pass this message along. Please spread the word and share this with other people who would find this useful. Thank you so much. And until tomorrow, peace.